Steve and I are here today talking about wealth creation for coaches and really ways that we can help coaches make more money in the practices that they have. And so we're going to just do some Q&A. And I have a couple of questions for you, Steve, around gamification, creating your coaching practice. Most coaches come to this profession, and once they're in it, it's hard. It takes a lot of energy, but you're saying to gamify it. Can you tell us more about what it might look like to gamify your practice, and how will we use the workbook to gamify?
Yeah, I think the workbook is going to be great for that. But gamifying your practice means taking some of the elements of it that are frightening or oppressive, or I'm not a business person, I'm not a money person. That part of this profession intimidates me a little bit. And I want to make a game out of it. I did all kinds of things. I put up posters, I had goals, and I had numbers, and certain amount of money I want to make, certain amount of hours I want to spend. So I even got it down to minutes. I played a game with a friend who I said, I want to record the exact amount of minutes each day that I spend in client cultivation, which is a nice way of saying sales, interacting with people who might become a client of mine or might join one of my groups. I want to track exactly how much time I spend doing that and play a game with it. So I would send those number of minutes to this friend who agreed to do it with me. And that would be something where I'd have a number, I'd have a score. So we'd be playing a game, and it would be like Monopoly or something like that. And it gave lightness to it, but it also gave clarity. I didn't have to hide. How am I doing? Am I actually making money? Am I actually talking to people? Because sometimes I'd have my coach say, you're going to build your practice through time spent in conversation with a prospect. That's going to be the key factor. And I thought, oh gosh, okay, right. And then he would say, so how much time did you spend last week talking to people who had the potential to be your client? And I would say, oh, I don't know, fair amount. I had a few. So I didn't have any metrics. I didn't have any numbers. And so I decided to play a game with it. And last week it was 962 minutes, and I beat the week before when I had 800 minutes. And I'm playing a game with myself to try to average 1,000 minutes. So if I talk to somebody for 9 minutes, it goes on the scoreboard or wherever I'm keeping it. But anything you can do like that makes a game out of the money part, it lightens that up and gives it a sense of play, not trivial or not to make it unimportant, but to keep it visible and play against yourself. Or if you have a partner. One time, Rich Litvin and I we were filling a course we were both doing. We had a contest of each night. I would tell him how many people I talked to and enrolled into the course, and he would tell me. So it was like possibility conversations, 7, enrollments, 2, and he would say, I've got you beat. Possibility 11, enrollments 6. Good luck tomorrow. I hope you rise up to my level of play. And so we really had fun with it. And that was turning enrollment into a course, into a game. So that's what I mean by gamification. Look for any way in which you can track things with numbers, and you can set up some kind of game where you beat your best week. I want to have my best week, my best month. And that takes the heaviness out of the business aspect of coaching and having a great practice.
I love that because I think one of the things that I see, Steve, is, when we were putting together the exercises at the end of each chapter, people can really gamify just completing those. Like
Yeah,
if there's a place to come from as they go through the workbook, as and I think even Jason called it a playbook, right? We can play with money. We can play with how we're experimenting it. So where we're coming from as we're answering these questions, not from a, oh, I have to do this or this is work or whatever. No, this is like my intention in writing this book with you is about like how do you lighten it up here, like just focus on this chapter and make it a game, make
yeah,
make the exercises especially a game of how can I actually move them into my practice, how can I use this experiment over here.
exactly.